It was at this moment that he knew.
He bucked up. Welcome. You're listening to Bucked Up with Sam Buck.
Fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you have fucked up.
Awesome. I really do appreciate you coming on. I'm a big fan of your work. I actually just ordered one of your prints, the New York City, the billboards.
Yeah, beautiful. The Crime Square one. I just seen that before. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Oh, of course. No, it's funny. So my producers, I'm from Boston, but my producers live in New York City, and a bunch of times that I've gone, I just go to see those billboards and take a pic, just because it's like a cultural piece. If you like Griselda, have you ever been there in real life?
Nah, man, I'm too far away from in Australia. So one day if I get over there in time, I'd love to see it.
Have you ever been to America?
Been to New York, yeah. Only been to New York. I went over for Rock the Bells, maybe early 212, maybe 209. I'm not sure. Good times though.
Well, that's such a great picture. So thank you for painting that. You're one of my, for everyone listening, SQUATDEADFACE, amazing artist. You designed Fly God is an Awesome God cover. You've designed so many other pieces for whether it be a Vinyl Villain, SD Neck. You've done everyone, and you really have a unique style.
Thank you very much, sir. I just love it, man. I love it. I love trying to contribute. Everyone's been very accepting of me into the scene, and I'm just trying to build, man. The scene, hip hop gave me a lot growing up, so I'm just trying to give back.
I 100% agree and understand. Same thing with me. Hip hop was my childhood, and that's why I love having this podcast, is I can give back and interview and talk to people I want to. How did you get into Griselda? That's something I'm always interested in, or into that style of the grimy New York hip hop.
Yeah, right. So my introduction to Griselda was Conway, Reject 2, and all it was just the suggested music. I was listening to Car, and then I seen a photo of Conway with the bullet holes in the neck on Reject 2. I'm like, I listened to this, heard the first song, Thousand Corpses, or 1,000 Deaths. I think it's Corpses. Sold ever since, and then I spiraled down the chain from there.
Reject 2 was when I first found out about them too, with Conway, and it was such a good introduction, and I still go back to that album every time.
Yeah, heavily. It's in my opinion, it's his best work. That's what I fell in love with when I first heard it.
I agree. I think that might be one of his best pieces, but I'm excited. I love all the stuff. He has just great. I love all of them. It's funny. So Fly God is an Awesome God is one of my favorite of West Side's albums. And it's my favorite cover. I loved the style of it. And that's kind of how I was introduced to you, as I bet many were. But I had seen your work before, but that's when I found out who you were.
Oh, okay. Lovely. Yeah, it was a big look, man. It turned a lot of people my way. So it changed my life. Literally changed my life.
Were you how did you get introduced to West Side? Were you just putting your art on the internet?
Yeah, simple as that. So I just reintroduced myself back into art. It came back into my life again, and just pretty much I painted. I'm not sure I don't think there's photos up anymore. I painted the Fly God art by Seppington. I painted that in my garage wall in my gym, and I posted that online. Westside Gun loved it. He reposted it. Built a little relationship. We started communicating there, and then that's
something I really. They're really great dudes. They're really nice dudes. And the scene a lot of people have taken inspiration from them and then blossomed into whatever they want to do. And they welcome all of it, whether it be art or clothing, or, I just got a Rebirth piece from your guy, or whatever it is. It's a really cool scene.
Definitely. It's very broad. I just love the incorporation of the art. It's at the forefront. Love it. Westside Gun's genius.
Yeah, you said you got back into art, like it came back into your life. How long had you been painting before before that? How long have you been not painting? How long have you been doing art? How long did it
All
come
right.
back?
So rough story. So probably about 99. I hated art my whole life, and then 99, 2000, I started doing some graffiti, and then graffiti took over my life. Became a passion, became everything to me, and I spent a decade, 12 years, going closer to maybe 15 years, and then I met my partner. I changed my my living situation. I moved 300-400 kilometers away from where I grew up, and I just stopped painting completely for 4 or 5 years. And then I just randomly seen the Fly God art and painted that, and then just led to where I am now.
What made
As
you
simple as
stop?
that. Just life, man. Just like I'm a very hands-on. I need something to consume me. So graffiti was everything, and then I met my wife, and family, and slow down, working heavily, and just time. I just didn't have the time. Didn't have the time. I didn't make the time because I was
Yeah.
training, I was powerlifting, trying to compete there, and that took the brunt of my focus. So I just didn't have my hands in too many bags. Just stayed on that.
And so you just heard Fly God and it just brought you back to what it just inspired you?
Yeah, 100%. I always say so. I went channeling through the music. Once you find Conway, then I found West Side Gun. I think Benny was just starting to bubble. I think he just started releasing. I watched Butcher on Steroids release, and around that time I was just was the first time I seen Fly God, and I felt like the shit changed my life. Like the imagery is such a striking, simple image. Kind of got a pop art feel to it, and the music combined like it was an old refreshing sound, and it just fused perfectly, and I felt like it was made for me, like that, like when something resonates with you, you feel like it's yours, and that's what I felt. I was just as inspired by the art by Sepp as I was the music. Crazy.
Well, you said you grew up with hip hop. Were you ever making it, or was it just part of your life?
It was always a part of my life. As a young kid, I don't know, man. I wanted to rap. I've got books of rap, so I always wanted to be a rapper. This is before I grew up. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's always been a part of my life in every aspect. Whether I was contributing through graffiti, going to shows, music, like it consumed me whole. Just the culture, all the elements. Love it. Love it.
You said you hated art. So something I love about art and something I love about your art is it's something I can't do. Like it's something I have a mental block in my brain where I'm like, it's just, my brain doesn't work like that. And I love, like you saying that, it's like, did you feel that? Why did you hate art growing up?
Man, hard to say. I just wasn't intrigued. Nothing grabbed me. It wasn't until there was some type of rebellious connotation attached to it with graffiti that I wanted to do something creative. Yeah. Yeah.
Were you always into powerlifting?
No. I was doing a lot of running, played a lot of basketball growing up, but then transitioned over into training, trying to get healthy, and then found out that I just wanted to be as big as I possibly could and as strong as I possibly could. It just took over, and I dedicated my life to that for, I don't know, 5-6 years. 5 years. The 5 years that I wasn't painting, I was powerlifting heavily. Yeah, in every aspect. And if it's a part of your life, then it really consumes you, takes over.
Yeah, it's how you get like addicted to these things. They don't have to be bad things, but like you get addicted to these things and they do take over your life. I have an addictive personality and I do stand-up comedy. So before the pandemic, that's all I did every night, as many shows as I could do, just like perform. So when I hit the pandemic, I really had that. I had to like quit cold turkey like that, you know, and it was weird. And that's when I found to do this podcast. And it was a way for me to, you know, connect the two things. But I totally get what that mean, where it's like, it just consumes your life because that's the only way you can get good at something.
Yeah, that's right. You got to obsess over it. If you want to be great at anything, you have to literally obsess over it. Or I do, you know, like if that's my approach. So
it is mine too. And I was talking about this. I had the producer Mifux on the last episode. He's produced with Flea Lord, Credible Lord Mob, great producer. But we were talking about the more you do, the more you want to create. It's not like you have to put as much energy into something, and other people might be able to just like relax, but that's not how my brain works or his brain works, or it sounds like yours. Like if I'm relaxing, I'm hating on myself. I have to keep my time occupied or I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I am. Even my wife was saying, you need it. You need something. You need something to take over your mind full time. Otherwise, I don't know where it'll go.
Are you able to have this obsession with art and a family now? Is that a balance that was hard to maintain in the beginning, or how are you doing that?
Man, I'm winging it. My situation kind of changes. Like I run my own business with flooring, so my day-to-day job, and I'm slowly transitioning some days where art's actually becoming, a proper source of income now. You know, I'm dropping some days of my flooring contracting gig to fuel this art shit, and it's working. You know, just but the balance is the most important thing for me. Is with 2 kids is my wife, you know, like she's as much a part of my success as anything, you know, because for me to come in here, chat with you for however long, you know, she's out there with the kids, keeping them occupied, doing what she's doing. Or if I'm doing art, sometimes I spend 6-7 hours just sitting in front of a piece, and someone's got to hold down the fort. So that's what helps me and allows me. So as much credit to her as me for anything that I do. That's
great. And it shows that kind of you need the team. You can't just do it on your own, you know, like you need a team, you need someone that supports you and backs you and believes in your idea. And
100%.
Some people think
it takes a village to raise a child.
It really does. Is it weird to like, do you want to do art full time? Is that your goal?
100%. But I don't like some of the kickbacks that I think are going to come with it. But realistically, I don't think that I'd give away my my flooring gig full time. I'd still like a couple of days because it's a great easy source of income. But man, I'd love to do art full time. It's just I just don't want to be bound by it. I have a lot of creative control, a lot of freedom with anything that I'm doing now. Even when I'm doing projects with people, I'm not bound or stuck to do them. If I don't want to do them or I don't feel it, then I can just like, I'm not doing it. I don't need to do it.
Yeah. You said you liked the rebellious nature of art, and that's what brought you. And do you not like the business side of it now that you have to deal with it and kind of the real world?
Oh, I don't mind it. I meant more so I think the rebellious side of graffiti is what allowed me to open my creative mind. That's what brought art to me, not so much the rebellious side of art, but graffiti. Just the rebellious nature of it is what opened my mind to be creative. So that's what kind of taught me what art is in a way.
Did you always have, with your graffiti, you have a very your style, you could tell no matter what, I can tell when a piece is your own. Did you always have that? I describe it as chaotic. I don't know how you'd want to describe it, but this like chaotic style.
It's a good way to say. I always say whenever anyone tries to label it, it's organized chaos. Like I know what I'm doing, but I don't know what I'm doing. So it works, man. It works. Like what I always say also, like what I lack in technical proficiency, I make up with a style. Like a style is invaluable. You know, like you just said, you can recognize my work as soon as you see it. some of the best painters that you might ever meet in your life might have no success. You might not recognize their style, but their artwork's immaculate. It's amazing. They probably trained 20 years, but sometimes a style is worth a lot more than how good I can actually paint a realistic picture or something like that.
Is it weird, like, if you could go back and look in the future that art is something that's your contribution to the world right now? I mean, you have a family, you have kids, you have a wife, you have a business, but at least a creative piece to offer the world. Did you ever think that was going to be part of your future?
Ooh, maybe not how it is at the moment, but I don't know. I kind of felt like I had something to contribute. I don't know in what capacity or lane it was in, but I always felt like I could write something good. Or as soon as the art started turning over, now I feel like I can paint something good. So I guess I kind of knew something I'd be able to, but whether or not I had the platform to do it.
And do you think the structure of having your family and running a business, that was what gave you the structure to be able to do it in the capacity that you do it now?
100%, 100%. My any success is my wife's success. That's how I feel. Like she's more supportive than people understand. Like, unless you're in that position and she gives a lot of her energy and a lot of her time to making sure that I have my time and can put that energy back in. So all praises to her, man.
That's really beautiful. And that's something that not a lot of people get. And also that she, believes in you as much as you believe in you, and that she allows you to do that is something that's rare. And, a lot of people hope for, or a lot of people just kind of like throw themselves into something hoping that it'll become that, they don't find that definitely. You can't just rush into that.
No, definitely. Even my success has been reasonably fast tracked because of certain cosigns by certain people. I forget where I was going with that. Yeah.
Is she a fan? Is she a fan of the music too? No problem. Is she a fan of Griselda too, or is she? No, that's not her style.
Oh, sometimes, man. Sometimes. I get it. Like what I like about some of my music is it's super repetitive to an ordinary listener. It can sound boring. It's not to me. But I can see how the songs she doesn't like and what she does. She does like a good amount of the music I do like. So
yeah,
not 100% Griselda though.
Well, are they popular in Australia?
Oh, bro, to be honest, I have zero social life. I don't talk to people. I just talk to people online. Like, I'm a straight up recluse. We got a decent sized property, and 150 meters to the road, I lock my gate when I come home, and we don't communicate with the outside world for the most part. But as far as what I can see on social media, they do receive a bit of love. Whether or not they could come and pack shows out, I'm not sure, because I've been to some gigs. I've been to Pusha T gigs, solo shows here, and the crowd wasn't at capacity. So certain artists can, certain artists can't. But you find, half, I'd say.
Half. So when did you go to New York?
I went to I can't remember the year exactly. It was. You're familiar with the Rock the Bells? The show?
Only by name.
Yeah. So man, I think I'm not sure. 2011, maybe 2008.
So this was all.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was all before that. I didn't. So you haven't been here. All this communication has been through the internet.
Yep, 100%.
Do you?
I was meant to. Oh, no, you're right. Go.
You were meant to come out?
Yeah, I was just before COVID. I was in talks and having conversations about trying to get there as a part of a couple of events. Seppington was having his exhibition in September this year, and he announced it at the back end of last year, and I was meant to come over for it to support the bro, but I've canned that because I'm just I don't want to leave my country at the moment. The world's a wild place. I want to get over there, but I just can't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah.
Touch base with all these people that I've worked with.
That is crazy that you've been able to. So you've worked with every artist. I mean, you've worked with like all the big like underground artists that are coming up. It's funny that, so something I like about it is like I've seen all the shows, like I've been able to meet Wes and Conway, and they're just like nice dude. Like I like the community feel of it. Like it's very like they want everyone to succeed. But it's funny, hearing from you, like you were able to do that in such a remote location. Like I didn't even know, when you told me you were from Australia originally, I was like, oh shit, I had no idea.
Oh shit! Yeah, some people don't. Some people. I had somebody in New York hit me up. He runs a shop / gallery, and he's like, "Pull up, come through." And I'm like, "I can't come through, man. I live across the ocean. I'd love to, but I can't."
But you couldn't have like, the reason I'm asking about the scene over there is like you can't have like would you do a gallery over that? Like you wouldn't be able to do that. Most of this is, do you ship the work over?
Yeah, so let's like a good way to look at it is last year I probably shipped a little bit more than like an order or a package out a day. So I think I did about 400 orders last year, and from my shop, and out of the 400, maybe 30 to 40 went to Australia. Like all the people that support me aren't in Australia. All the music isn't from Australia. So to hold a show here would be difficult. I think I might be able to with some people, but as far as running a solo show, I'd have more success doing something in, I don't know, NY or LA or Japan, not Australia. It's weird.
Are there any rappers that, like, is there a rap scene?
Australian hip hop scene? Yeah. Yep, 100%. I'm not too up to date with the scene now, but I lived a good portion of my life where I wouldn't listen to any hip hop American. I wouldn't listen to any type of gangster rap. Wouldn't listen to anything talking about drug. I just wouldn't listen to anything that I didn't do personally, because we found our identity within our own scene, and that was we rapped in our own accent. If we rapped how we talk, we didn't try and sound American, be American. Everything was just it was us. We found our identity, and I followed that scene heavily. Probably mid 2000s during my whole graffiti spree. I was going to Aussie hip hop shows all the time. Had mates in doing gigs, but yeah, there's a thriving scene over here. I don't know where it's at right now, but yeah, man, solid. Like a real traditional to the roots kind of stuff. Like the main MC in a group of MCs also produced and also did graffiti. He could DJ, he could b-boy. So it was a real, in a traditional sense, the scene was alive that way.
So you said, I know this is a different type, but when I look at your art, some of your non-rap work, it's you said organized chaos, but it's also psychedelic in nature. Is that, you said you didn't do drugs? Is that not something that you've ever done?
Oh no, I've done drugs, but like like as in back then, I couldn't relate to. I wouldn't have listened to West Side Gun. I wouldn't listen to anyone talk about selling crack. Like it just wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something that I've seen or felt, but yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of venturing into like a psychedelic kind of lane with the art. I see that myself. I'm looking at 3 pieces right now that I'm halfway through, and they got that feel. One of them does. So yeah.
Are you a fan? Yeah. Do you partake in mushrooms?
No,
or other.
I've never had any psychedelics. I need to. I need to.
Yeah.
No, I'm open to it. It's just the right situation.
Yeah.
And stuff. Like I said, I don't have a social life. I don't leave the house. My free time is doing art. So
you have kids and a family. Well, that's great. That's so great that your wife allows you, takes up and allows you to put in so much work to this art, because of course it shows that it pays off. I mean, you've made a name for yourself in a short amount of time in a field where it's so clogged. Like it's tough to probably break out in the art scene, but you had a vision when you heard Fly God, and that kind of just painted this path.
It did. It's so it's crazy how the world works and how you put your energy into something. Like I did that. West Side Gun was approving. He communicate, and then I just said to my wife, I said, I want to do a cover for West Side Gun. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, I want to do a cover for West Side Gun. I said, that's my goal. I don't want to set any goals but that. And then he hits me up. Can I use your art? Yes. Please do.
When you started again, was it weird? Like, what was that feeling? Because you had taken all this time off.
It felt natural, because it was totally, when I used to do art, it was only like preliminary work at home so I could take it to a wall or take it to wherever I was going. You know, I did do canvases and stuff, but it was always sort of a graffiti style or a graffiti base. I never spent hours working on paper. I never spent hours working on canvas like I do now. And when I came back into it, that's all I did was sit in front of a piece of paper for 2-3 hours. And I never used to do that. And I just kept doing it over and over and over and over and over. And it works.
Did you enjoy? That's the thing, is you have to, you know, people will ask me, as you said, like this podcast has made somewhat of a splash in a field that is clogged with a lot of podcasts. So when people ask, oh, like, how did you get, not that I'm big on any scale, but how did you get any somewhat of a following? It is, I said, how hard is the hardest person working that I can find? And can I outwork them? Can I put in more work and work a little bit harder than everyone? It's not really the like, oh, he's lucky. It's no, I can outwork you. I can, try to figure out a path.
It's such an insult. People saying you're lucky or you're talented. No, I work. I'm a workhorse. There's a big difference.
And do you think that having a real job, not when I say real job, you know what I mean, the flooring company having in a family, because I don't have a real job, in a family, that gives you more energy to do it? Like it makes it worth something?
Yeah, it's weird. It's just the more you work, the more you want to work. And it's just more work, more opportunity derives from you wanting to work more. It's like me with my flooring job. For me to get more work, I have to do a lot more work, and it's a product of I don't know, it's just your productivity level raises. It just keeps going. You work more, you want to work more.
And people don't think of that's something I've been trying to explore. An idea I've been trying to explore is like, it's not, humans aren't like a battery. It's not like you start at 100 and you lose energy. It's like we're like a crank fan or a light. Like you need to put in more work. When I feel my laziest is when I'm not doing anything. Like I have to fill my day up or I'm not going to get it. Like, the more busy I am, the more I'm going to be productive, not the other way around.
100%.
And that is the thing.
People are scared of hard work. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, they are scared of hard, and they're scared that their days aren't going to be filled with like laziness. But I never feel good. Like if I'm like, oh, I'm going to relax today and watch TV, 30 minutes in, I'm like, you better go out for a fucking run. Like go run, like pussy. Like you. Yeah. Like I talked to me fucks literally like a couple hours ago, and I was like, I'll just relax in between interviews. I was like, nah, you got to go run. And I just ran a couple, like 4 miles. I just had to like get that energy out. Yeah,
it's good. You got to. Nothing good comes from doing nothing. What is it? The idle hands makes for the devil's work. I'm not religious.
How'd you get?
Yeah.
You're not really, no, me neither. How'd you get your name? You have your name, Squat Dead Face. It fits perfectly with your style, and I don't know why. How did you come up with that?
It's my IG. So over the years, I remember when Instagram first started, I had my graffiti Instagram, and it was just all graffiti based, and that went on for, I don't know, however long, 5, 6, 7 years, I'm not sure. But then when I was doing my lifting, I just started posting lifting videos, just lifting. I think I haven't deleted them yet. If you go back through my feed, it's just clogged with just lifting. It's just a training log. And powerlifting, the three movements are squatting, benching, and deadlifting. And the face reference is just my family, like I don't know, just a little bit of banter between me and my wife, and it was just trying to think of actually, we were in hospital. My little girl was just born, and they were sleeping, and I was sitting there on the couch half asleep, and I opened the IG and just bang, squat dead face. That's it. It was just lifting related. And now it's just people go, yo, squat. I'm like, fuck, how did it stick? But it did, and I don't know, it works. I embrace it. I love it.
Well, it's fun now that you tell me you're a power lifter, and that was something that it makes sense, but I never put the 2 and 2 together. I was like, I just thought, oh, that's a cool name he came out. I didn't think like, oh, squat, like that makes sense now to me. And it just kind of stuck.
It literally stuck. It was nothing. There was no premeditated thought into it. It was just like, let's bang out a handle so I can put these videos online real quick. That was it.
Yeah.
Now I get caught.
That's kind of how I feel about this podcast. When I first started it, I was like, oh, I'm going to talk to my friends. It'll just bucked up. My name's Sam Buck. It'll be just like a silly thing. And then as it grows and like I want to talk to like more serious people, like when I want to, it's like a silly name now that I feel like, I guess it's like I'm stuck with it now. It's what I have to deal with. And I do enjoy it, but it is funny. It's that same thought process.
Yeah, definitely. It's catchy. It has a ring to it. Bucked Up Podcast.
Do you have anything? Do you work for yourself, or are you working on any pieces now? Do you work are you like, oh, I want to do a piece for you, or do they reach out to you?
Oh, okay. So I've got a list of jobs that I'm going that need to be done that are either paid or some type of deal's being worked out, or I have my art jobs, and I always give a big window on when I can do them, because I'm not always just going to, because it's my passion. I love it. So sometimes I come in, I don't want to do Johnny's cover of a whatever. I want to come in and just do some art. I got to keep it fun. I got to find that balance. So, like right now I've got 3 pieces that are not for anything. They're just for me, just for fun. But there's still a long list of things I need to do. I get. But that's
awesome that you're still doing it for yourself. Yeah, that's cool that you're still doing it for yourself. It's not like you don't get burnt out. And do you get in that flow state when you're painting? Is that that is your passion? Like you're not burnt out from it?
No, I love it. And I definitely balance it. There's some times where it's a little more stressful than normal. Just, my work capacity or my workload at my real job is kicking me in the teeth. Then I come home and I've got 2 jobs that might need to be done, and sometimes it gets a bit exhausting. But for the most part, I find the fun in it, and I need to find the fun. Like I got Pop Smoke and Nipsey Hussle in front of me. Like they're just because I wanted to paint them, I wanted to draw them. So you
listen to other music, other styles of rap too.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not
everything.
just.
I can't do it all day. It gets a bit much sometimes, but I love it. Just good balance. I'm very, very.
That's how
broad.
I feel.
Yeah,
because I like the trappier stuff. Like I was just at a concert last night. It was the first one that opened up with Lil Papa and Young Ka. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go to it, and it is that like. I mean, it's more like, I guess I saw Lil Papa open up for Mozzie, so it's that style. But I love all of it. I mean, I grew up listening to, when I was 8 years old, I knew every word to The Predator by Ice Cube and Late Registration by Kanye West. Like I just
beautiful.
Loved all the styles.
Death Certificate was one of the first hip hop albums I ever heard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love it. I still remember that day. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I can't even remember how old I was. But yeah, good memories.
It's funny that you said Reject 2 was where you got into them. I'm trying to find the exact song because I don't want to mess it up because I would feel like an ass. Beloved with Mac Hami and Benny. I remember the exact moment that I heard that song. I remember the road I was driving down. I remember hearing the first Griselda, like that moment, and it changing how I felt about music forever. I loved rap, but it's ingrained in me, that exact moment when that song started.
Yeah, definitely. Their sound, it takes you back. It sounds so familiar. It sounds like something you grew up on and you heard. So when I first heard it, I'm like, oh, we're still doing this? Like, this is incredible.
Yeah. Are your kids artistically inclined?
Yeah, they will be, like, much more than I ever was and what I seen growing up. Like, my daughter just will come in the room and I'm in here for, however many hours, and she'll just come draw for an hour. She'll leave. She likes to draw. We just recently got an iPad Pro with Procreate, and so she's playing around drawing on there. Like, art will be a big part of her life. And my little man is nearly 2, and he watches her paint all the time, as well as sees me draw and paint all the time. So they're going to naturally be good at it, whether they want to do it or not. So that's a beautiful thing to pass down.
Are you supportive of that, or do you try to be like, you don't want to push too hard that idea on them?
Yeah, no, I don't push it at all. I just be like, I'm going to draw. You want to come and draw? No, all right, cool. We'll talk later. And then I go out there, and she's drawing anyway. So I never. Did
you have support growing up of it?
With art?
Or just like if whatever creative endeavors you were doing, or no?
No.
Because you said you hated it growing up. Was it like, yeah, it was like, and that's why, is that why you hated it?
Yeah, I just didn't have time for it. I was too busy. Oh man, I don't know. I didn't think it had anything to offer me because I didn't invest any time into it. And I just thought I'd always be shit. I didn't think, I can't draw that. I'll never be able to draw that. You're not going to be if you don't try 20 times. So that's it.
Was graffiti when you learned, the more you put it, if you obsess over it, you can get good at it? Was that your first obsession?
100%. As much trouble as it got me into, it really taught me some life skills that I adopt with work, outside, like my real job, just being consistent, being persistent, pushing, and just constant. Yeah, dedication. It taught me dedication, I guess, because I was painting graffiti like every day in one form of one aspect or another. It consumed me, every part of me.
You said you got in trouble from it. Is that why you stopped?
Nah, I never really got. I was pretty lucky. I got arrested a couple of times, but I never did any hard time. I've done some overnight stints. But yeah, and I still see it every now and then. I get a bug. I still got the bug. It's still in me. I still want to go out and do some good stuff, maybe some not so good stuff. But I don't.
Do you ever do it? You don't have to snitch on yourself on this podcast, but no.
I haven't. If I did, I would. I wouldn't mind going out and plastering up some posters of some of my art. That's borderline. I'm not gonna get in too much trouble doing that. But as far as going out with a can and bombing and throwing up and doing whatever, I can't do that. I can't explain that to my wife, man. She kicked my ass.
Yeah. You said the first thing you got back was you painted on the side of your garage?
Yeah, inside my garage, yeah.
So was that makes sense now, where it's like you weren't a sit down at a piece of paper or a canvas. You were, I want to put it up big on a wall.
Yep, because that's all I knew. I probably felt like I wouldn't have been able to have drawn it anyway. So to paint again, I'm like, oh, let's put it on the fucking garage wall.
How'd your wife feel when you're like, hey, I'm gonna go paint this baby crying blood Jesus up on your wall?
Yeah,
exactly.
I was driven. She knew what I wanted to do, and she's like, "Go do it. It's your space anyway." Like I have a full shed full of gym equipment. Like I never used to go to the gym because I owned everything, gym wise. So the wall was my wall anyway. So she's like, "If you're going to paint it, do it in there, nowhere else."
Do you do a big pieces still on, or are you now more canvas paint paper?
Yeah, mainly canvas, paper. Nothing. My goal this year is to definitely upsize and upscale my work. Pardon me. I did for Westside Gun Day last year. I painted the Awesome God on 2 boards outside that I went and brought. So that was all spray paint. That's probably the second time I touched spray paint since I did that Fly God in my garage.
Do you get a rush when you touch it?
Nah, I just feel familiar. I'd definitely get a rush if I wasn't doing it at home, if I was out running around the street or something. But as far, I just feel familiar, and so that's worth a lot.
That's awesome. And so, what do you do any, like? Do you make music? Do you write raps anymore? Is it all? Do you try to do any of that anymore?
Nah, man, that's been dead for a while. I'm not trying to rap, man. I said there's too many rappers out there anyway. I'm not trying to be the next one. The next one.
You can start up the Australian rap scene again.
No, man, I'm out. I don't even like. I don't even like the majority of the stuff that I hear out nowadays anyway, out of Australia. So
do people at work know? Do people at work know who you are? Like, do you keep that side of you hidden, or are you open about like being an artist?
Yeah, no, I'm open. I had to be open and honest because I had to withdraw because I'm one of their better contractors. So I had to withdraw some days, and they thought I was going to quit. And I'm like, I had to explain to them why it's happening, and they're very understanding of it all. So they just don't want to lose me. So they don't. I'm sure they want me to do well, but just not too well.
Is that a weird conundrum that you're in? As you did create this whole business, and now you are stuck in both worlds, and you want to keep going in both worlds. Do you feel like you're going to have to choose one day?
Yeah, yes and no. Like I was saying before, like I don't think I'll ever have to completely get rid of flooring, because I think I'd rather do a couple of days flooring to allow myself that financial freedom of not being stuck to do not you but your artwork. You know, I can still balance it out with jobs, my work, my creativity, because ultimately I'm not trying to be a rapper's artist. I'm trying to be an artist. I'm trying to be myself. So just a balance, yeah.
Do you feel like you're painted in that box as being a rapper's artist? I mean,
yeah, I'm not dissing it either. Like
no,
yeah,
of course I'm not.
Yeah, definitely. I just want to be a broad artist. Like I'm not stuck to one medium. I'm not a digital artist, but I can do digital. I'm not a stencil artist. I can do stencils. I'm not a graffiti artist. I can do graffiti. I can do acrylics. I can paint. I just want to express that. I don't want to be stuck. The only avenue I want to be stuck in is I can only do this. So I'm trying to broaden myself this year. I'm happy.
Did you have to go back and learn the basics? Yeah. Did you have to go back and learn the basics of all that?
I feel like I had to learn how to draw properly, because everything I used to do was always rough preliminary stuff for me to take to the wall, and I guess I would manipulate it with spray paint. I wouldn't have to sketch up as much. I could build up my piece as I was painting, and I could see it happen. But now I can draw. I never used to be able to say that. Like I can draw now, and I had to relearn how to draw, because what I thought I could do, I couldn't do before. I wouldn't have been able to do this 10 years ago, skill wise.
So the 10,000 hours, as you mentioned, it most people in most fields say it takes like 10 years before you figure it out. How long into it were you like, oh, I figured this out now?
Oh, you can't have that. You can't have that mindset. I don't feel like I've figured anything out. I still feel like I'm like a baby wading in water. Like I'm still learning how to swim, and I forever want that, because how are you going to evolve? You know, I want.
Are you
I
hard
want
on your own work? Are you hard
Yeah, like
looking at your piece?
I rarely even look at them. I look at them on. I see them online, but once I finish a piece, it goes in a box, or I put it online to try and sell it. If it gets sold, you know, I could paint something tonight, I could post it, and then I'd never see it again. It's somebody will say they want to pick it up, and then it's gone the next day. I don't get too attached to it because I'm pumping out a lot of work. So there's some pieces that I like more than others, but yeah, I don't get too caught up. I just move on.
Can you listen to Flag God as an awesome God? Like, can you look at that? Like, can you listen to that album and like see your cover, or is that just a part in your history, chapter in your book?
You got to stop and smell. You got to stop and smell the roses every now and then. Like, I love the album. I love the album. I listen to it. I still spin out. I still get tagged in it every week. Someone's tagging me in it, and I still bug out. I go to West Side Gun to listen to some music, and I see my cover there. I still bug out.
Do you have a favorite song off the project?
Luncheon.
Luncheon.
Yeah, Luncheon, or I can't remember the name of the song.
I had Hologram on this podcast from Thousand Shot Mac, and I was like, "You have no, you're only on features, and that's such a great." He killed that feature, but he doesn't do any songs. He has no solo songs released. Mayhem's brother, Hologram.
I didn't know he's Mayhem's brother. That makes plenty of sense now.
Yeah, doesn't it? And I've always loved Sauce Walker. So Lakers versus Rockets that's what helped me get at the last of my. I felt tired at the end of my run, and I put that song on, and it just pumped me to get that last half mile in.
Beautiful. It does it. Music does it. I love it. I love it. What other songs?
I heard someone was saying that music is like a cheat while working out, and it kind of is, because if I put on a certain song while I'm like tired, it does give me a level of energy that is different than anything else. Like, it's weird how it does affect you in that way. It's not just like, oh, I'm listening to something I like. It's like, oh no, this music is powering me to get through whatever hard thing physically that I'm going through.
Definitely. Powerlifting's a big mind game, and so when you're approaching sort of like 95 to 100 and 105% of your maximum weight that you've lifted, if you're going for a new weight, like my gym track list is different to my driving to work track list. And they're the songs I put them on now, makes me want to go work out, you know. Yeah, it does. You're right. It gives you energy.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. I've had a great time talking, and I'm excited for my piece to come in, because I'm going to frame that and put that up, because I love that, and I love all your other artwork. And your Instagram is at SQUATDEADFACE.
Yeah. Oh yeah, beautiful. Thank you too, bro. I'll get that moving on Monday. So
no rush at all. Do you want to plug your website and everything?
Yeah, for sure. SquatDeadFace.bigcartel.com. Got a lot of pieces. I put some stuff on there yesterday. I got my first official print drop of the year dropping next weekend. I'll keep hush on that, but keep an eye out. Super limited. My store's got a bunch of original work. You know, invest, support your artists. Like that's the motivation right there. So SquatDeadFace.bigcartel. Yeah, definitely. I have a Facebook, which is just, I don't even know my name, SQDF Kelly. That's just Squat Dead Face. It's all just art related, and Squat Dead Face IG. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you guys, everyone, for listening. Make sure to check out his artwork. Make sure to support, get all the prints. They're dope. And we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.